This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Thursday? It is July 3rd. We are one day away from celebrating July 4th. I hope you guys have a great July 4th weekend planned ahead. We will have a show tomorrow just because we don't celebrate any holidays on the Joe Gaither Show. We give you 5 days a week live at the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. I am not live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. I'm in parts unknown, but Mason Woods is sitting right there off McFarland Boulevard. Call Derek for all your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Mason is sitting over there. We're going to talk about Cedarian Morgan. We're going to talk about LSU and their way to make some money. We're going to talk about the Auburn Tigers and the interesting or funny comments that Hugh Freeze and John Cohen were making yesterday in regards to their recruiting or lack thereof. We're going to talk about a lot of things right here on a Thursday edition, and we hope you guys enjoy it. As always, jump in and join us on the comment section at Joe Gaither 6. You can leave us a voicemail at 205-462-7340 extension 800. You can leave Mason a comment at MAWoods_. You can leave Bama Central a comment right there on the Bama Central YouTube channel, and we will get right to it and address it. With that, it was a huge day yesterday on the recruiting trail. Maybe a small break today, but more recruits are coming. 5 stars on the hook. Follow Mason Woods for all of his written work. Mason, how are things and how is life in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studio?
Oh man, things are going good. Everything's looking up for the Crimson Tide. Seemingly, you get another 5-star in the 2026 class. You now have, I believe, the most in the country by a pretty decent margin. And everything is just looking up in Tuscaloosa. We are excited about this year's team, but I am starting to get more and more excited about the team after the team after that. So things are looking good.
For those living under a rock, and none of our listeners are, and if you're listening to this show, you're absolutely plugged in and smart. If you're living under a rock, you might have missed Cedarian Morgan committed to the Crimson Tide yesterday, and it seemed like it was always going to be Alabama based off kind of the way that he reacted and the way that he some of his comments. Alabama gets 3 wide receivers in 3 days. Owen Cabell, Brian Williams Jr., and now Cedarian Morgan. And just like Mason said, you've got 4 5-stars in the class. No one else in the country has more than 2. So Alabama with double the 5-star production of any other program in the nation. And so for all this, Kalen DeBoer can't recruit, Kalen DeBoer can't this, the staff can't that. You've got double the amount of 5-stars of any other program in the country. So big day for Alabama as they get Cedarian Morgan. And we're going to just dive right into Cedarian Morgan, what we see on tape, the wide receiver class as a whole. Mason, I think you might want to be pulling up rolltide.com and looking at the wide receivers for the next 2 years, how the room is structured, and really kind of I think it kind of reveals a little bit about the motivation for this class. I'm just thrilled and excited, and it looks like Everett Osmer is as well. Everett, chime in on the Facebook machine. You can as well. We appreciate you watching us, Everett. Cedarian Morgan, 6'4", 210 pounds. At least that's what he's listed as on the 24/7 page. I think he's probably going to be a little more than the 210. And you just put him on, and Benjamin Russell is just throwing the ball to him in any and every situation. He's throwing
that very first.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Even just from the very first clip in that junior season highlight tape, it is like, oh my, he's in. I'm pretty sure there's 2 guys draped over him. It's just quarterback scramble drill, run around. He finds the corner of the end. It's basically like Gravedigger. It is essentially that play, and he catches it with everybody draped all over him. It is wildly impressive. He said it himself. We talked about it on the show. Trying to be like Julio Jones. He certainly looks like him on that play.
He looks like Julio in this entire highlight. I mean, it's third. First off, every player that we've looked at so far, their highlight tape is 4 minutes, is 6 minutes, is 8 minutes. 8's been about the max. This
Mhm.
man has a 14-minute highlight tape.
It's unheard
14,
of.
and I don't know if he's put all 70 receptions from last season on here. It's not that, but 14 minutes of him just lining up outside, lining up in the slot, lining up at quarterback, lining up wherever Benjamin Russell wants him, and just absolutely dominating these guys. 70 receptions. What did I read? Just over 1,100 yards. 1,162, 14 receiving touchdowns last year as a junior. And he is absolutely just, I mean, a 5-star when you see it. And maybe the rest of the competition is poor. Benjamin Russell is 6A, right? It's 7A.
As far as I know, yeah, he's playing up near the highest level of Alabama football, if not the highest.
Benjamin Russell is, I don't want to make it up, Benjamin Russell football. Where is my little sports at Alabama history, high school football, right? Yeah, that's what I want right there. They
6A.
are 6A Region 3.
So pretty close to the highest level.
Man, 6A Region 3. Let's see what they did last year as a team. 2024, they got to the first round. They lost to Spanish Fort. They beat Calera, Chilton County. They beat Charles Henderson. They beat Pelham. They beat Chelsea. Okay. They lose to Central Clay County, Opelika, Spain Park. Spain Park is up. They lose to Helena and Percy Julian. Basically, he's the only player on their team.
That's what it seems like.
Oh, my gosh. And 14 minutes of just dominating, high pointing the football, going to, and I love the fact that they've got him in the slot as well. They've got him in the slot, running a lot of flag routes, away from the deep half safety. And you see him on this next highlight. He's faking blocking his cornerback, his safety, and then he runs right by him on kind of a rail route. This guy is a real ball player, and I think that you will see him on the field for Alabama in 2026.
Yeah, I think you are exactly right with that assessment right there. There's just, sitting there watching his highlights here, there's just not really anything that I can point out that he does bad. All these commits that we've had, we've kind of tried to at least play both sides and find a little bit of something that they could maybe try to improve on, something they may need to improve on once they get here. It's very hard to find something with Sedarian Morgan.
Yeah, taking that track, what would it be? Maybe a little bit of a slow get off, maybe, but you're going to get all that stuff trained out of you or trained into you once you get to a college program. Maybe a little bit of false step sometime off the line, but I think that's nothing to really worry about. I think Jamarcus Shepard is going to really, teach him how to get off the line pretty quickly. His cuts are pretty clean down the field, and really tracking the football in the air. Ooh, I mean, the ball is in the air. Sedarian Morgan's going to go find it. Even and no disrespect to the Benjamin Russell quarterback. I'm sorry, no disrespect to you, but some of these passes are not good. Some of these passes are right at a underthrown where a defender has an angle on it, or some of these passes are across the field where, I shouldn't be throwing this, but Sedarian Morgan's down there anyways, and he just makes the play for the quarterback. He's jumping back over the defensive back. He's just a really, really impressive player when the football is in the air. And it makes me think about what we heard from Jamarcus Shepard last year. Do you remember last year, Mason Woods, that Jamarcus Shepard, he basically came out and said, we don't call our position group wide receivers. We call our position group takers because we go out and take the football. It's right there on tape, all over this 14-minute highlight. The ball's in the air. Sedarian Morgan says, I'm taking that.
Golly, I am just mesmerized watching this. I mean, even taking a screen, here he is catching a little bubble screen in the backfield, running. He covers 20 yards, and it feels like a quarter of a second, and the defense has no idea what happened. he just does everything well. And, we said it. He said it himself. We will continue to say it. He just looks like Julio Jones out there. This reminds me of when I was, however old I was, 9 years old, 10 years old, looking up on YouTube, trying to find it, Foley Julio Jones highlights, and you find a few like news clips. Like this feels like that. This looks like the same kind of player. It's just, it is so impressive. And like you said, you know a 5-star when you see it. This is certainly one.
Cameron Metzger chimes in on the Facebook machine. I appreciate you watching us, Cameron, and chiming in. He says he will be a contributor day one. So I totally agree with that. But moving into that point, I was on a radio station in Mobile yesterday. The afternoon drive 105.5 down there. Love that. You can download the Sound of Mobile Sports, the Sound of Mobile app if you want to check them out. But I was down there and they were asking me about these receivers, and they're like, "Do you think they're all going to contribute? Do you think who's going to play next year?" And like, I think you see a lot of tools and traits in Cabell and Williams Jr., but they're going to take a little bit of time to get some weight on them, to get the feel for the college game, and to crack the depth chart. Sure. I think that Sedarian Morgan, I think he's absolutely going to be a big-time player for Alabama right off the bat. The only issue I see, Mason, is the wide receiver depth chart. Did you pull up Roll Tide while I was doing all that exposition and look at the wide receivers? I think that you only have one wide receiver that is out of eligibility after this year, which is going to be Jeremy Bernard. Now, that doesn't mean the transfer portal doesn't exist. I think you will see, probably some wide receiver or two go into the transfer portal, but you're going to be loaded at wide receiver for a while, especially after this recruiting class. You look at the three guys you bring in a trio of big body guys. Is Isaiah Horton, is he going to turn pro based off of a great year? Maybe, potentially. You lose Jeremy Bernard out of eligibility, and we hope that he has a good enough year to where he gets into the NFL draft and makes a lot of money. But after that, look at this dang depth chart. It's sophomore Ryan Williams will be a junior. Jalen Hale will be a junior. Jalen Mbakwe will be a junior. Cole Adams, same thing. Rico Scott will be a redshirt sophomore at that time. Latia Brooks will be a sophomore.
Fine. Kobe Cruz, redshirt senior. Jay Loper, senior. And MJ Shergwin, that's going to be plenty of space opens up. Those guys are big time contributors. That's a lot of numbers coming off the stat sheet right there.
Oh yes, Mason found the walk-on section of the wide receiver.
You are absolutely correct here. There's going to be maybe a bit of a log jam.
And so you got this log jam. And you've got a lot of big-bodied wide receivers already on the roster in Derek Meadows, in Jalen Hale. Well, you will have a lot of them. Ryan definitely doesn't count. Rico Scott doesn't count to me. But okay, so I take that back. Not a lot. You'll have if Isaiah Horton returns, if he doesn't go pro, then yes, you'll have a lot of big body. You'll have Jalen Hale. You'll have Derek Meadows, and you'll have Isaiah Horton. And then you bring in these three guys who are also I think I'm going to stick with it. I think I'm going to stick with Sedarian Morgan. We'll have a pretty nice little 25 receptions, 30 receptions freshman year, 25, 30 receptions for 450 or 350 and 4. Okay, yeah. What did Caleb Odom have last year? And he's going to be better than Caleb.
I was going to say Caleb Odom's a bit of a special case because, as we all watched, it was maybe a bit of attitude that also played into it, maybe, a little off the field things sure, knock on wood, maybe that happens with Sedarian Morgan, but I'm going to just assume that it will not happen right now. I will say, even looking at the sizes of these guys on the roster, it's really only Derek Meadows right now that is of comparable size at 6'5", 210 pounds. Jalen Hale is next closest, but he's only 6'1". So I have to. There's a decent, there should be a decent gap for Sedarian to fit right into there. Trading, swapping out with what I assume will be a larger role for Derek Meadows next season. We'll see.
Isaiah
Or 2
Horton
seasons from now, I guess.
at 6'4", 210, so he's there, pretty much the exact size. How do you feel? Is Isaiah Horton going to have a big enough year where he's gone? He's going to pro. He's going pro.
I think so. I think he at least gets himself into a round between round 1 and 3 pick, a day 1 or 2 pick. I don't think he's a. I would imagine he comes back if it's anything less than that. But if he's a third round picker up, he's probably going, and rightfully so. That's why he came to Alabama in the first place.
Yeah. So Sedarian Morgan is going to walk in. Okay, so I got Caleb Odom. He went 7 receptions, 65 yards, and 0 touchdowns. Sedarian Morgan.
See a little bit more than that.
He's going to. I'll go between 20 and 30 receptions as a freshman. 20 and 30 receptions for. Ooh, what is 20 times 15? Where's my little calculator here? Because we want to say that he's going to have at least 15 yards a pop. So 20 times 15 puts him at way to close it out. Puts him at 300 yards. I like that. 20 to 30 receptions for 300 yards and 4 scores.
That puts him like right basically in between Ryan Williams and Caleb Odom. I think that's a fair estimate.
I'm excited about this. Mason Woods, let's close down our recruiting little portion of this conversation by highlighting who might be next. I think I errantly told someone that today was Jaira Edwards Day. It is not Jaira Edwards Day. Jaira Edwards looks like it's on Saturday. What's next for Alabama? Because you do at least have 2 more 5-stars on the hook. I think I saw Nolan Wilson ended up committing to South Carolina yesterday. So you're missing on that defensive lineman, and that's okay. You're doing just fine in the class, but I think you have at least 2 more 5-stars on the hook.
Yeah, I think things are looking really good. Nolan Wilson, Nolan Wilson is set to commit tomorrow. So we still have him potentially out there, the 4-star defensive lineman. But outside of him, you're talking about 5-stars. Obviously, we've been talking about Jaira Edwards for a while. The other guy that we are looking at is the in-state edge rusher Tank Jones and now I am blanking on what high school he goes to. But regardless, Alabama's looking St. Paul's. Alabama's looking to land 2 more 5-stars in this class and extend their lead over the rest of the country even further. Outside of him, let's see, we've got Mitchell Smith coming up, I think, tomorrow as well. A 4-star offensive lineman. I think he's deciding between Alabama and Vanderbilt. So we'll be covering it from 2 angles within the Walsh Writing Network here. And then I know Nick Abrams Jr. is coming up within the next 2 weeks. I think his is going to be on July 16th. But the 2 biggest names coming up for Alabama are certainly, I do think you may be unfortunately correct, Mr. Cameron Metzger, but we are still looking at it. We're still holding out hope. We certainly feel great about Jaira Edwards, but Tank Jones, we're leaning, like you say, a little bit. We're feeling a little less confident on.
Okay, so I pulled up the name. I thought Noah Clark committed to South Carolina yesterday, and I was driving, so I thought, that's Nolan Wilson. No, Noah Clark. So Nolan Wilson's still out there for Alabama to get. All right, so let's spin this recruiting conversation into a little more fun. Is everyone cheating but Auburn?
Apparently, that's what they would have you believe. I don't know. I'm not sure if I don't know if they think that we are so stupid to believe it, or if they are just so stupid that they believe it. But certainly, that is what Auburn would have you believe, is that they are the only people doing everything above board. They are the only program in the country that is running a tight ship with zero cheating, 0 fraud, 0 tampering. We don't do anything wrong here at Auburn. We are just a nice little tight-knit family here at Auburn University. Ridiculous.
it's just different down there, Mason. We wouldn't understand. They do things
Preposterous.
differently. I mean, crazy. Yesterday, John Cohen and Hugh Freeze spent some time with it looked like a press conference, and they were just
Something.
talking about the recruiting and lack thereof. And Hugh Freeze was, "Oh, I'm confident we can still get into the top 10 class." And Hugh's comments, he goes, "Well, it certainly is unusual, isn't it? It certainly is unusual. Our numbers are lower. Do seem a little bit like we're lagging behind, but I'm confident. I'm confident we can get it together and get a top 10 class." Justin Hokanson on 3 Sports. He basically says after listening to Hugh Freeze and John Cohen, it's abundantly clear they believe Auburn is playing by the rules and going about the new world of NIL the right way, and others aren't. August the 1st will be the first day offers can be in writing. We'll see what schools' verbal offers are backed up in writing after August 1st. Lots of nuance and details, but they feel comfortable with how they are approaching the entire issue.
Okay.
So let's just spin it to our side. Alabama's got 17 commitments. Do you think do you think that all 17 or a portion of these 17, let's say 5, 4, 6, whatever, choose whatever number you like, are being backed by bogus NIL promises?
It depends. How many of them were down and had Auburn as one of their final schools? Because it's whatever that number is, and those are the ones. This is just ridiculous. It is an insane, preposterous notion that Auburn, amongst everyone, is the school, the bastion of truth, the bastion of I don't even whatever you want to say, the moral the moral high ground of college football here at Auburn University. It's just insane. I'm not here to say that Alabama is better than anybody else because they're not. They are all terrible. All 132 of them. They're all cheating just like the next one. They're all trying to undermine everyone else just like the next one. One is not better than the other. It is just insane to try to imply that Auburn is any different than anyone else on this, other than they just have a lazy coach who does not want to recruit and is at this point trying to get that $20 million buyout.
Oh yeah, it's insane. So we'll take this and continue the conversation by using one of our comments yesterday. JRB3 on the Twitter machine says, "Question for the podcast, Mason. If Auburn is 5-5 going into the Mercer week, is Freeze out? How much would recruiting need to rebound to save his job with that record? A top 20 class, top 10, or does it matter?" Well, let's look at the Auburn schedule real quick as we try to answer this question. Mason, you just hold it in your brain. I'll run through it. You go wins and losses and give me a total where you're at when we get to this Mercer game. Excuse me. You're opening the season at Baylor. You come back home and you're taking on Ball State and you're taking on South Alabama. Then you're going to Oklahoma. You're going to Texas A&M. You bring Georgia in to the Plains, and obviously that rivalry has not gone your way lately. You bring Missouri in, and you're on the road at Arkansas. You're bringing Kentucky in, and then you're going to Vanderbilt. So what do you have right there?
This feels like crazy, but there's like 4 games I feel really confident that this Auburn team could win. I'm giving you Ball State, South Alabama, and Mercer. Obviously, there's 3.
No, we haven't got to the Mercer. We haven't got to the Mercer game yet.
I thought we were just running through the whole thing. Okay.
No, yeah,
sorry.
No. So we're trying to set up. Are you fired before the Iron Bowl?
Oh yeah, you were just running through the first 10. That's right. Okay.
I'm going
through that first 10.
South Alabama. I'm Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky. That gives me 6.
Mm-hmm.
6-4. You're playing Mercer. You're 7-4. You got Alabama at home, and you're at 7-5. But is there a chance that they are 5-5 before the Mercer game? And you win the Mercer game, obviously, you're 6-5, and then Alabama comes in, you're coaching for your job.
I think certainly there's a chance that they are 5-5. I don't think this is a good team at all. I don't think they showed us any reason last year to think that they're a good team. I certainly don't think that they've shown us any reason to think that they're a good team this offseason. I don't believe in this Auburn team whatsoever. I don't really understand why there's any amount of preseason hype surrounding them. It seems like Cam Coleman is shouldering a lot of this on his back to carry this Auburn team to relevancy, and I just don't know that he can do it. I don't know. I truly don't believe that Auburn can afford to fire Hugh Freeze. Yeah, not after the last two that they have had. Maybe they'll find the money, and they probably will. They always do, I guess. But let's not be surprised if some sort of shocking scandal comes out about Hugh Freeze that came from nowhere that nobody knows about, and it's like, where's this information? Like, they're gonna find some way to fire him for cause. Got to, because I don't think they can afford to do it, but they're gonna fire him. There's no way. I think it's extremely likely that he is 5-5. They are 5-5. I don't know a ton about Baylor, but that game's a toss up for me. Obviously you get 2 wins: Ball State, South Alabama. Sure, Oklahoma give you a loss there. Texas A&M probably give you another loss. Georgia loss. Missouri, that's another toss up. Arkansas, I don't know. Kentucky probably win that one. Vanderbilt, you lose that. It's just ugh.
I do think Cameron Metzger asks us a good question. If they were to fire Freeze, he corrects his comment. If they were to fire Freeze, who actually is available? They may just write it out with him. And look. You should. You made your bed. Lie in it.
You absolutely should. Go get Gus back. And you tell him, hey man, look, rest of that buyout, we cut it. Would you come on back home? New contract. Should have never fired him. They did not know what they had. He gave you consistent, 8, 9, 10 wins, and then occasionally you get 10, maybe 11. You beat Alabama every year or every 2 years, 3 years or so.
Yeah, it was 3-5 against Nick Saban, and they fired him. You're 3-5. You have the outside of Kirby. I mean, and Kirby only has the 1 win, but 3-5. You without off the top of my head, that's the most of anyone. Dabo had 2, right?
Dabo had 2.
Nobody else had more than Gus, and they fired him.
It's crazy
because it's not good enough. It's like
they thought we'll do the Georgia thing and we'll fire somebody that really gives Mark Richt. Because I remember even myself thinking, this is a bad move, Georgia. You're firing somebody. You're firing consistent, 9-win coach, 10, 11 wins in a good year. Auburn thought they were doing that, and they have plummeted their program into the depths of irrelevance.
Now, I don't know if he's as good as you're thinking off the top of your head. Let's look at him year by year at Auburn. But I do know he was 3-5 against Saban, which I cannot think of anybody else who had 3 wins off of Saban. Okay, 12-2, 8-5, 7-6, 8-5, 10-4, 8-5, 9-4, and then that last year 6-5. You couldn't suffer one.
Come on. I mean, like I said,
1 full year,
8, 9, 10 wins almost every year. And then on a good year, you're competing for a title, maybe. Come on, people.
Two SEC West titles. Oh my gosh! It took you to the national championship game, Sugar Bowl. You got your Peach Bowl. You lost to an Outback Bowl. You messed up when you fired Gus. Totally, you messed up. I don't know who the heck you would get, but that is always the best.
I don't
question.
have a clue.
Thank you, Cameron, because I do really don't like the hey, let's fire him because you have to hire somebody else.
No, I'm with you. But I don't know. It's we saw them. We have seen them make questionable firings before, so it wouldn't shock me one bit if they can scrounge that money together. He will be gone.
I had the Alpha Alexander Lincoln messaged me yesterday. What's going on at Auburn? And I kind of gave the same sort of take here. That Hugh Freeze is on the golf course a whole lot and just trying to win or lose. It don't matter. And he said, "Oh," he said, "Well, they had a chance when Saban retired to close that gap and to really step into it. It looks like that window is gone." Yikes!
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't remember even what it was that like prompted it the first time, but I've been saying it for like he has just been sandbagging at this job to get fired so he can get bought out. Like I don't believe that he ever took this Auburn job with any real intention of like let's build a championship contending program. It was all right. They're going to sign me to a giant contract because they think because I'm the only guy out here that beat Alabama. And he kind of knew it from the. I don't know. I think Hugh Freeze knew as much as a lot of people. He was really only good when he was allowed to cheat. It was when he was that's the only time that he was really that good. Yeah, man. I don't know. Auburn is in a bad spot, and I don't know where you turn. I don't know. Like you said, I don't even know who's out there. I don't know who's going to be out there. I don't know who would want that job.
Mason, could it be another take? I think I sent this to you. Could it be that our coaches, this is straight from Auburn message board, could it be that our coaches love our current roster and want to keep these young guys on the plains? So we're putting our funds towards that. Could it be that they know what we have on campus and we don't need to overspend on young guys who are unproven? Could it be at this point we are not as desperate as FSU, Nebraska, UGA, and yes, Alabama? All those teams had disappointing years last year. We seem to be selective with our dollars and the right talent.
That is not the case. No, it could not be that. To the fan who the fans who delusion has taken them to the point of posting that on the internet for people to read. That is not the case whatsoever. That is not how you run a football team. If you did that, you would be sitting here every 4 years saying, "What do? We don't have a football team." You have to build. You have to go out and get new talent. You have to acquire new players. That's if we're if we're breaking it up pieces of the pie like that, that's a massive chunk of the pie here is recruiting. You cannot just take it out. And Hugh Freeze seemingly has decided to just let it fall by the wayside.
Well, we're just trying to get guys that love Auburn. We're just trying to get guys who are committed to the Tigers.
I'm not sure many people are. I'm not sure many people do.
Lemonade lovers. That's who we're looking for. All right.
I mean, what does the pitch look like? Even if you were Hugh Freeze and you are out there trying to recruit, which he is not, we have found out up to this point. We know this. He is not. But what does the pitch look like? Hey, buddy, like you said, we got some lemonade. We got a drugstore. We got this big tree downtown. You throw toilet paper. It's cool,
When the basketball team wins, you can party.
Hell, I mean, like, golly, man, it can't be. It's tough spot. And if you can't produce on that, if you can't produce on the field, it cannot be any easier.
All right, let's hit one or two more topics before we wrap it up for the day. We appreciate everybody watching us on the BamaCentral Facebook page, BamaCentral YouTube channel. You can find the show on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. Mason, we had a nice day yesterday on the download, so I appreciate everybody who's downloading that, sending it to a friend. Mason is live in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. I'm in parts unknown. Call Derek Daniel for all of your insurance needs, 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. All right, so we want to hit one or two more topics, and I want to take us down to the Bayou and talk about how LSU is trying to make more money and ask you, will Alabama do this, Mason? We all know the hubbub about changing Alabama's uniform. Oh, we're never going to wear the white helmets again. Oh, we're not going to wear – I mean, black is not in our color wheel. We're not going to wear a blackout uniform. Get that out of your mind. But you're not going to change the uniform. No stripes, no whatever modernization you think you want with the Alabama uniform,
Sure.
get that out of your brain. But will this be in Alabama's future? LSU reportedly is considering per On3 Sports, NOLA, NOLA News is reporting that LSU is apparently looking at whether it can sell jersey patch advertisement. You see this in the NBA. You see this in MLB. They've just basically got a patch up on the shoulder, usually. And I think you see it on the Major League Baseball hat, I think, as well, the helmet. But essentially, it's Billy Sportsball's logo. It's whatever automotive logo that you like, or that it has partnered with that said team. And so LSU is looking to make some more money, selling some sponsorships, and they want to sell a jersey patch sponsorship to,
Raising Cane's.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Raising Cane's. Exactly. Something like that. One, what do you think of this, Mason? And two, has Greg Byrne already investigated this?
I mean, I have been not a fan of this since the NBA started doing it, or the NHL started doing it. I don't love the advertisement patch on the jerseys. Now, I will say I have gotten used to them, and I essentially don't even notice them anymore. And really, they've done a decent job at, especially in the NBA, of a lot of times picking companies whose logos don't really contrast with the team colors and so on and so forth like that. But yeah, I don't want to see this in football. Maybe I sound like maybe I'm old man yelled at cloud here, but I just don't really want to see it. We get enough of advertisements shoved down our throat, especially in and around a football game. Whether you're watching it on TV, whether you are at the game, no matter how you consume it, you are constantly bombarded with advertisements. I don't need to see any more of them if I don't have to. How much money? What is this really going to take your program? Is this going to push your program over the level or over the limit? Is this going to be the difference between winning a national championship and not? I don't think so. And you already, the biggest companies out there, which are these apparel companies, you already have a sponsorship deal with one of them if you are a college program. So it's not like you're going to be getting any, not that I think at least, any really program defining money.
You're going to end up seeing it. And I hate it.
But it's going to catch on.
You're going to end up seeing it. You're going to have, Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa on the patch. Just going to drive me nuts.
I don't see them doing it in football. I think they'll do it in other sports. I feel like Alabama will leave football alone just because of the uproar that it would cause. Is don't change the uniform. But basketball, it's not like the uniforms are sacred in basketball. Softball, same thing. Baseball, whatever. I could see them slapping, like you said, a Mercedes-Benz logo on one of those.
When I was young, Mason, I thought the name of the bowl game was the Nokia Sugar Bowl. I thought that was the name of the bowl. I didn't realize, the first time, I grew up in a Georgia household. The first time Georgia plays Florida State in the Sugar Bowl, I didn't realize, oh, that's the cell phone company sponsoring the game. I thought it was just the Nokia Sugar, and then get another year or two under your belt, and you realize, oh, that's a cell phone company, and they're just partnered up with the bowl game. I'm wondering, you get the Alabama A at center field, the logo. Will Greg Byrne swap the center field logo, the Alabama A, with Allstate, with Mercedes, with whatever it is? We're going to swap the center field logo, and we're putting you. He said, you can't be on the jersey, but you can be at midfield.
I don't think they would, but you know what I think they would do? You know what they could do, and what I could see. Here's a section of blue seats in Bryant-Denny Stadium, sponsored by Allstate, and it's the Allstate section. You pay a little extra premium for them. Maybe you get some special concessions or something like that. That's coming. Things like sponsored sections in the stadium is certainly, or maybe a sponsored press box, or not press box, but that things like that are coming. They will continue to find ways to make more and more money as NIL continues to expand more and more.
Nuts. Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
see
yeah.
Alabama doing the jersey patches though. Not for football.
Can't be desecrating the uniform in that fashion. You
No,
want to
I
hit
think Greg
something?
Byrne.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what you got? No, I was just gonna say I think Greg Byrne is knows that is sacred at least.
We'll spin to one more uniform topic, and you sent this to me this morning.
Ah,
Tennessee dropping. These are normal. What you said, these are hideous. They said these are new. If you haven't seen it, On Three Sports tweets
mm-hmm.
about what time? 8 o'clock this morning. Tennessee drops its new smoky gray uniforms. They've been doing these grays before.
Yes, they've done basically a new iteration every year for the last I don't know however many years now. And they're always pretty great. They basically have not released a bad one until now. And these ones are, inspired or whatever it is by I think Air Force, some kind of armed forces, something. So it's cool. The inspiration behind them is neat, and I can appreciate that. But good lord, it is an ugly uniform. It's just not good to look at, and not really much else to say about it than that. It's just an ugly uniform. I'm a big uniform guy. I love you looking at uniforms. Love just every year when we get ready for the new college football season, I love scouring to see what all teams have new uniforms for the upcoming season. And this is definitely one that I look forward to every year, the Tennessee Smoky Grays. And yeah, these are hideous. Not a fan. Weird, like stripe on the shoulders. Don't know what's going on. No, just ugly.
I got a buddy who's a diehard Tennessee fan, and I'll have to send this to him because every year he sends them to me and say, "I love it, I can't wait." He has a big old meltdown over how
Yeah,
great they are.
I mean, I gotta say, like as a Tennessee Orange hater, they are usually some of the best uniforms, like in college football. That smoky gray, but they really dropped the ball on these.
So we will keep looking for more uniforms, and we'll keep looking for more topics. I want to wrap the show up right here because Mason and I will. You know what? I'm going to name it and claim it. Mason and I will talk to Jet Tamala in a couple of hours, and we're going to play it for our Friday show. He said a time, and we think that time is going to happen, but that time's in a couple of hours. So we're going to nip the show in the butt right here and get prepared for our Jet Tamala conversation. So if you join us tomorrow, we will be barring major issues, we'll be bringing you a 25-minute conversation with Jet Tamala, Alabama's quarterback commit. We had a lot of fun today with you guys on the Facebook machine, Twitter machine, YouTube machine. You can follow us right there on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. And, of course, tomorrow will be another episode of All Things Bama. Mason leads that podcast. We do it once a week. Mason picks up every little piece of information that we forget on this show. And we really just wrap up the week with All Things Bama. So I encourage you to subscribe to All Things Bama. We kind of flip our roles. Mason leads the show, and I chime in with a comment or two. So we'll do that again as well tomorrow. We'll have a 4th of July episode talking about some things, talk about some fun recruiting things and summer things, and we'll bring you a Jet Tamala conversation tomorrow. I've had a lot of fun. Follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_. Follow me at Joe Gaither6. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral and BamaCentral.com.